Welcome, welcome, welcome to our annual meeting. It's always a special joy to have the annual meeting because it gives us an opportunity to look at what we did during the last year and to reconnect with everyone who might not be as involved in the day-to-day of our organization. This is our agenda. First, we're going to take care of business, which is really the part where we approve annual meetings and then elect a new board because we have elections every year. The exciting part of today's meeting will be talking about the things that we did over the last 12 months. And then we will have announcements and thank yous and a charge for the new board. So with that, let me just show you, I am not welcoming you alone, but I'm welcoming you on behalf of a lot of people who include all of our board and our founding president and our immediate past president and interim executive director. All of us welcome you to this meeting. I'd like to now turn it over to Adele. Adele is going to light the chalice for us.
Here it is. So for today, I chose a poem by Lynn Unger. I very much like her poems. And what I chose for today is called The Path. And it goes like this. Life, the saying goes, is a journey. And who could argue with that? We've all experienced the surprising turns, the nearly impassable swamp, the meadow of flowers that turned out not to be quite so blissful and benign as we first thought, the crest of the hill where the road smoothed out and sloped toward home. Our job, we say, is to remain faithful to the path before us, which is an assumption as common as it is absurd. Really, look ahead. What do you see? If there is a path marked out in front of you, it was almost certainly laid down for someone else. The path only unfolds behind us. Our steps themselves laying down the road. You can look back and see the signposts, the ones you followed and the ones you missed. But there are no markers for what lies ahead. You can tell the story of how you forded the stream or got lost on the shortcut that wasn't, how you tracked your way to courage or a heart. But all of that comes after the fact. There's no road ahead. There's only the walking. The tales we weave of our adventures and the songs we sing to call our companions on. Thank you.
Thank you. That sets us off in a good way. Thanks.
Yes, thank you so much, Adele. Next up, I would like to introduce Reverend Rosemary Newberry. She's a newer member of our organization, and she attended the convocation, so perhaps, hopefully, several of you have met her and know her. And she would like to tell us why she joined ICUUW and became a sustaining member.
Welcome. Yes, I am so glad to be here. I have many friends that are on this call and members of ICUUW, and some friends longer than others, and the rest of you are just friends that we haven't connected yet, and I look forward to that. This is kind of like a testimony. I grew up in Southwest Missouri, so that's something I'm familiar with. I promised I wouldn't speak too long, but why am I a sustaining member? And for me, that is really easy. We talk in the US about time, talent, and treasure. And my time and my talent haven't really been available to the organization, even though I did get to go to last year's Convocation, which was fabulous. And I also took the post tour, which was also a fabulous. Thank you, Adele. I realized at the Convocation how much immense good that was being done. And there were several stories that really moved me. And probably the biggest one was from the Ukrainian couple that lived in the high school. And even with this last weekend's bombing of Iran, I think women's are the ones that come back and say, no, we understand humanity. I wasn't born in the United States, so therefore when I would go to Grandma and Grandpa's, I'd have to fly over the pond. And I have always been international focused. And I had family that lived in Europe during World War II and told stories about war. So, and it's not only war that are concerns around the world. So I give, and I give freely. I set it up as a monthly donation that just, happens every month. I don't have to worry about it. And this is an organization that's the top of my list as far as my giving. So thank you all for making this world a little better.
Thank you so much, Reverend Rosemary. That was a great testimony. Yes, I'm so glad. We're so glad to have you here. Yes, we value our members, and we are very glad to have you. The next thing on our agenda will be approval of the minutes. So we sent the minutes around, so hopefully people have had a chance to read them. There was also a recording of last year's meeting, so maybe some of you watched that. So right now I'm asking that for a motion to approve the minutes from last year.
I move to approve the minutes from the 2024 annual meeting.
Thanks, Jerry.
I second. This is Denise.
Thank you, Denise. All in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed?
No.
No? And no opposition? Okay, the minutes have passed unanimously. And the next thing on our agenda will be Vicki, who is the head of our nominating committee, will talk about our slate and our election.
Good morning, everyone. We have quite a number of people on the board that our bylaws stipulate that you serve a 3-year term on the board and you can repeat for another 3 years and then you must leave, which is why this year we've had Jerry as acting treasurer only. So you can see there the beautiful faces of our 5 board members that Javine and I, with our board liaison, Renee Hills, have recruited for you. They're all very enthusiastic to get to work on the organization. Jerry will come back as the treasurer officially. And we have just Zuzana, I'm not sure I say that very well. Sorry about that, Barta. And Elgiva Shalai, Denise Tracy, and Erica Orban beginning their 3-year terms. All of them, well, no, Elgiva is not new to the board. She's served before, but the rest of them are new to our board. And will bring some new perspectives, I'm sure. For the nominating committee, Javine has served the 2nd year of her 2-year term and did not wish to continue. So Beth O'Connell, who has served on the board in the past, was the ideal choice, I think, to replace her. We hope that she knows people and can really help with the recruiting. And I continue for another year. And Beth should know, everyone should know then, I need to be replaced because I can serve 2-year terms and then I'm gone. So thank you very much. That's our new board.
Thank you, Vicki. So we have to vote to approve the slate. So I'm asking for a motion to approve the slate.
I so move.
Jackie, you said you moved?
Yes, I so move, right.
Okay. And somebody second?
Second from Julie.
Julie seconds. All in favor, either raise your hand or say aye.
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 Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Okay, I don't see any opposition, so the slate has been approved as presented. So welcome to our new board members, and Beth to our nominating committee. She'll make a great nominating committee person, just having stepped off the board. We're moving on, as you can see from the slide. We are going to be doing our committee reports now. And the first committee report will be membership, and Allison will present the membership committee report.
Okay, so I've actually met a lot of you through the convocation or some of the Tuesday gatherings. I am new to ICUUW and I am now new to the membership committee. So I think that sort of speaks about the membership committee. It's really kind of cool because after the convo, Renee Hills reached out to me about becoming a member and then later about being part of the committee. So right now it's myself and Renee Hills and Lee Buki Burke, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, Lee, and Genia Peterson, who was there until 25. I think the important thing here that we wanted to note is that from 2021 to 2024, there's basically a 50% increase in membership. So there's annual members, sustaining members, and change makers. The annual members pay once for the year. The sustaining members pay, as I think it was Reverend Rosemary said, that they have a monthly membership, and the change makers that contribute a lot at over 1,000 to the membership. So the membership is growing, and as the slide shows, there's more new members added. So we're now more than 100 strong. And the goal is to keep increasing that and getting more people on board. So we'll talk a little bit, part of the membership committee also does a little bit of organizing special events, and we'll talk about a little bit of that later, I think, in some of the announcements. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Allison. Next up is the Outreach Committee, which Julie and Denise are here to talk about that. Reverend Denise Tracy and Julie Steinbach.
Denise and I have been enjoying co-chairing this committee for the last couple of years now. And my first report is about the fact that I already talked about the success of outreach that we've had at GA, but most importantly, about Convo in September was really the highlight of our year. And partly not only because of meeting so many people, including old friends and new friends, but also because the outreach committee itself were able to meet in person. We had a lunch meeting and a meeting at lunch over lunch table, and then the next day at breakfast. And those meetings resulted in two major projects the ideas came out of those meetings over table with each other. The first of which was because the meetings included Carol Houston and Bruce Knott, who were at Convo, and they represented the UN Advocacy Committee. And the idea came up at that time in September to do a UN seminar in the middle of the UN Commission on the Status of Women in March, that weekend, March 15th and 16th. That idea started in September and was manifest with the great good work primarily of Carol Houston there in New York, and drew 25 women from for that weekend, including we raised funds to bring people from Hungary and Romania and India. So we had truly an international group there at the UN and met at the Fourth Universalist Society, beautiful old historic structure in New York City. So that was one fabulous outreach that caused us to feel like we are continuing to grow as well as support the advocacy at the UN. So Denise, to you and the other idea.
Okay. Well, first, let me say that outreach is the idea of letting people know that we exist. 99 members may be doubling in numbers, but most of the places that I go as a UU minister, people don't know what the ICUUW is, nor do they know what we do. And so last year, our goal was to increase the number of share the plates. And what we would like is for members to go to their churches and to have a yearly collection and even a worship service as part of a worship service about the ICUUW and talk about our purpose. This is a way of extending beyond our current boundaries.
Thank you, Denise. I think next on our agenda is the Programs Committee, and I believe I will be speaking for the Programs Committee as Peg was not able to make it today. I don't think she's here. So Peg and I were co-chairs of the Programs Committee, and Peg has stepped down just very recently due to having a lot on her plate and having some health issues. So she is not with our committee right now, but she has worked hard this past year to help keep us on track. There's, like on the slide here, it shows we have all these programs that are in progress, and we had some online programs, our gathering on December 10th for Human Rights Day, and the biggest project was the Convocation, which also melded in with our Facing the Future Together project, because we met in person in Transylvania to work on our strategic plan. So our Convocation, yes, was the 5th to the 8th of September in Cluj, and it was organized by a team of volunteers from ICUUW and UNOS. We had 150 participants from many different countries, 14 from Australia, Brazil, Canada, Denmark, Germany, Greece, India, Japan, Kenya, Poland, the UK, and the USA. And we had, unfortunately, a few people who had visa difficulties. Some of our women friends who were in Bolivia, a woman in the Philippines had trouble getting a visa. And yeah, I think those were primarily the women that we worked with who ended up not being able to receive visas. We had a very full 4 days. with speakers and activities, dancing, presentations, and at the end, we came out with a declaration of peace. And as somebody mentioned earlier, with new new war activities that happened recently and the wars that we have going on in so many places in the Middle East, in Europe, and in Africa. We really need to focus on being peace builders, peacekeepers, mediators, and agents of change to forward to promote global peace. So this is our statement here. And yes, I'm really passionate about peace myself personally. So I really am invested in this in our declaration of peace and developing programs around peace and moving forward to work on this issue. I just want to say, yes, the spring seminar was a beautiful seminar, but I want to make sure that Tina, gets credit too. She worked very hard on our spring seminar, and I did too, working with Tina. So it was a group of us working on the spring seminar, and we're all very proud of how that came out. So we can move on, I guess, to our next committee report. Communications is a new group we just founded to try and keep everybody up to date on what's going on with different committees and things like the newsletter. We want to make sure we get our newsletter out and keep our members informed about what's going on. We want to make sure our website stays current and vibrant. We have a brand new website that Gretchen has been working on tirelessly, and it's a beautiful website. I hope you have all checked it out and looked it over. I know somebody asked me, there is a space where it says members can log in, but we're still working on that part of the website. So that is not totally finished, I don't believe. Also, we communicate with each other through emails, Facebook, and Tuesday gatherings is the way that we all have a chance to talk and get to know each other. So that is really an important part of our communications, because it's a regular event every usually twice a month on Tuesdays. But we're trying to have other gatherings at other times of day and other days of the week so that we can capture other people. We have had some in the evening time, US time, so that it would be more convenient for some other people around the world and for working people in the United States. So yeah, we've been meeting since March 2020. This program was started 5 years ago, and there's been more than 100 gatherings and more than 200 participants, different women who've been on at different times. And usually we have about 25 to 35 people who are in attendance. So we have a team now, a committee that handles the scheduling and subject matter of the gatherings, and their names are up here: Vicki Roberts Gassler, Denise Tracy, Adele Nash, Sylvia Niramana, and Gretchen Ullman, our staff person, helps us with tech when we get stuck, because I am not as much of an expert in that department as Gretchen is. So yes, the Tuesday gatherings, we're really proud to keep that going. And I hope that it's an enjoyable thing. I heard before we came on, before we started recording earlier, Jeannie, I think, was talking about how it was so valuable to her during the pandemic, and I'm glad to hear that. Okay, and we were at General Assembly. So I think most of you know that General Assembly was in Baltimore this year. The Unitarian Universalist Association in the US had our General Assembly in Baltimore. And Gretchen and I planned what we were going to put in the booth, and Gretchen got us all the supplies we needed. And then we had Jerry Kennedy, Beth O'Connell, Julie Steinbach, and Vicki Roberts Gassler working with us in the booth. We gave out buttons. We had a raffle. We've been collecting names to raffle off some things that we received from Wilda in Kenya, and we showed some videos to GA participants about things that we've done. We had our Convo video up. We showed the textile video that was made by Anna Maria in Transylvania. We have a video that Wilda made to showcase what she's been doing in Kenya to help women learn farming techniques and new cooking techniques. I was also in a panel discussion that was recorded. It was an on-demand workshop at GA. And so now that GA is over, we can send it out to people, and you all will be able to watch it.
Thanks, Karen. Before I turn it over to Beth, can I just add, I think you all did such a fantastic job. It was really wonderful to see, and I invite all of you to watch that video. We're going to send out the link afterwards to Karen's panel discussion, but and maybe also in general to our video channel, because we have accumulated 77 videos already. Videos that showcase what ICUUW Women is doing. So there's quite a lot out there to see and to discover. I also want to say we're highlighting ICUUW's participation in the American General Assembly because it just finished, right? It just finished on Sunday. But we, of course, are an international organization, and it is my fault that I didn't highlight also, for example, our contribution that Lee Boki Burke, who is on the call, initiated and coordinated to the Philippine General Assembly equivalent, right? Not only did we send a video greeting to their women's annual meeting, but we also sent greetings to their 75th anniversary and annual meeting. So we don't just do that in the United States. Of course, we do that in other parts of the world as well. And a big thank you to Lee for really managing that for us. That was really, really nice.
This is the Coordinating Council. It's a new committee just formed this past year, and it meets quarterly. And the idea is to improve communication and transparency in our organization. And what it is, it's a gathering of all the committee chairs from all our committees, plus a representative of the board and any special task force. For instance, we had in the past year people from the task force that was planning our fourth convocation in September. So each committee representative shares information about what their committees are up to. So we have an understanding of what's going on organization-wide, and we can make sure that there's no conflicts of dates or planning among our various committees. And we're building support and solidarity among our volunteer leaders, because we're all volunteers here. And so all our committee leaders are volunteers, and we're building support among our leaders and sharing how we can encourage and support our volunteers on our committees. And so this is a quarterly council meeting that we launched this past year. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, Beth. And let's turn it over to Carol, who organized the spring seminar for us. We've already alluded to it, right? But let's hear more about it.
The primary, one of the primary missions of the UN Advocacy Committee and Advocacy Committee is to support our accreditation at the United Nations as an ECOSOC, economic social organization that has standing to enter meetings, enter the UN. 7 of us have permanent passes to go on grounds anytime in the year. And we support that with our work and with our reporting every 4 years. Our mission is also to be present around the Commission on the Status of Women. And we work very hard to bring a delegation to the UN in person now that we are back to in-person delegations. We do that every March, a 2-week session. Several people have already mentioned the seminar that we organized and hosted at CSW this year, which brought together 25 Unitarians, Universalists, and Unitarian Universalists to learn about the UN, to discuss priorities, to discuss ways of working together. The presenters, and I hope I'm remembering them all, Carmen Capriles from Bolivia, but now living permanently, we hope, in New York City, close to the UN. Carmen, Tina, and Ganya Peterson gave a wonderful presentation. Phyllis Marsh talked about the history of CSW. Bruce Knotts presented for us as well. We will not do that every year. It costs money and costs energy, but I'm hoping that we will do some form of it online next year too, so that we can continue to engage new people around advocacy, and particularly advocacy at the United Nations. The UN Advocacy Committee also goes to the UN other times of the year. We have, for the last 2 years, gone to the high-level political forum, which happens in July, and we will have a delegation of 6 or 7 at that meeting coming up very soon, particularly focused on July 7th and 8th, the beginning of it, but we will be there. We are also active in collaborations. We have become active in the U.S. Women's Caucus at the UN. It is important for us to be active with our own countries, so that a lot of our committee is from the United States. We need to work with that caucus so that we can try to influence our own country in the directions it's taking. That's difficult right now, as I'm sure we all recognize, but it needs to be part of what we do. And both Beth and I, and Phyllis as well, have become active with the caucus. We have a project, as a matter of fact, which I helped work on, drafting a proclamation recognizing the 30th anniversary of the Beijing meeting and the Beijing Accords, which launched so much about active feminist advocacy internationally. There's a proclamation that each of you can take to your own local city or county or state legislature to recognize this milestone in women's work. We will send out more information about that later. We also work with Women's Major Group around the other meetings and other coalitions. That is the way to be heard. That is the way to get a chance to speak. Carmen speaks sometimes at sessions. Tina spoke at a session recently. But you mostly have to do that through coalitions and groups gathering together. Our committee meets monthly. We meet on the first Friday of the month in general for an hour and a half. We have a lot of work to do: planning, presentations, planning delegations for meetings, exchanging information. But we also sometimes take time to have really deep and meaningful discussions about the situation in the world. One of those was at our last meeting, a deep, passionate discussion about the Middle East, about war and peace. I invite you to come to our meetings. Let me know if you would like to attend, and or let Karen know. It's a good, solid committee. We're accomplishing things, but we are also deepening our own understanding of how women's situation in the world is right now. So, thank you all.
Thank you, Carol. That was a lot of information, very valuable information. Next up is Jerry with the Treasurer's Report.
So first of all, I'd like to thank every one of our 99 members at whatever level you're able to donate for your generosity, without which we would not be able to survive. I've been serving as your interim treasurer for the past year because we have term limits and there was no one stepping up to be the treasurer. And now I can qualify to run again. So thank you for your support. I manage the finances, and we also have a bookkeeper, Nikki Steele, the owner of your bookkeeping department, who does the actual accounting piece. It's been a really busy year with both the Convocation in Chalice, Romania, and the spring seminar in New York City. These events involve dealing with both US dollars and dollars funds from outside of the US, which can get a little complicated. We received a grant from the ICUUW funding panel for the strategic planning work that followed the Convocation. Those funds were contingent on raising matching funds from new money. In other words, folks who had not donated in the past. Fortunately, we were able to get the new members and donors, so the event was successful from both a experiential, good work done, and financial standpoint. The spring seminar expenses were covered by the $50 registration fee and other private matching donation that covered some of the scholarship funds. So this year we had several very generous donations to our Barbara Beach Legacy Fund, which now has about $31,000. The funds are generally intended for scholarships. The legacy funds provide the opportunity to share the gift of giving for future generations. Legacy, and with the exception of scholarship awards, the policy for the legacy fund is that we can only give grants to 501c3 entities or the equivalent in countries outside the US. The fund is not intended to be used for just general operating expenses. During the last year, I've attended almost all of the board meetings, executive committee meetings, plans for the new executive director. I also served on the scholarship committee for the Convo attendees. I had a good time interviewing Sylvie for a video that was available at General Assembly last year and is now on our website. I just returned, as noted, from the Baltimore General Assembly. Our booth was quite popular. We actually ran out of a very large stack of brochures. We ran out of those little badge ticket things. I don't know what you call them, those little ribbons that everybody likes to put onto their badge. And we got almost 3 pages of folks signing up to add their name to our newsletter and get more information. So the booth was a great success. We talked to lots and lots of people. So in between the various meetings, there's the usual duties of a treasurer, monitoring the financial statements, assuring the bills are paid, and coordinating with payments to various folks, assuring that our corporate tax forms are completed on time. And yes, even nonprofits have to report to the government. My goals for this upcoming year as board treasurer are to form a solid finance committee. I'll be looking for volunteers, step up, and to find a candidate to become your next treasurer. Thanks again to the generous donations of our members. We are on target to meet our budget goals for 2025. Our finances are on a calendar year, so we've only just barely, we haven't even finished 6 full months of this year, but so far everything is looking good. Thank you very much, and get in touch with me if you have any questions.
Thanks, Jerry. That was great. What I wanted to start off saying was, yeah, this year has been challenging and enlightening. And thank you to our board members for putting your faith in me to help us through this time of transition. I was as surprised as everybody else when some people on the board said we think Karen would make a good transitional executive director. And so I'm very flattered to have been asked to do this. And it's been an intense learning experience for me. I have never been the executive director of anything. So it is, yeah, very much learning to be in a different role. And I'm excited that we're evolving into a more member-driven organization. And it is, it's delightful to see that all the member involvement we have, the new committees, the dedication to keeping this organization going. And lastly, I wanted to talk about our beautiful new website, ICUUW.org. I know I mentioned it earlier when I was talking, but it was quite a project. Gretchen worked very hard on it, and we're still working on it and learning how to use it. So I hope everybody will go to the website and look around and see all the wonderful information that's on there. You could spend a long time watching videos and reading articles and all sorts of things to learn more about our organization. So please do check that out.
Thank you, Karen. And we could not have asked for a better interim executive director, because maybe we have a few people on the call who don't know, so I'm mentioning it here. Karen was our president for many years, and so Karen knows our organization very well. She was the best choice for interim executive director. We couldn't think of anybody who would come anywhere near Karen to fill this role. And when Karen says it's been a learning experience, then of course I can echo that, because I've been involved with the board for with the organization for many years, and I've been on the board before. But now I'm serving as a president during this transition period, and yes, it's quite something, isn't it? But together we're moving forward, and that's a good thing. I wanted to give a brief report on the organization itself, and specifically about our renewed strategic plan. You've heard so much already about many different aspects of our organization, and all of those aspects are why we exist, right? They all come back to our mission of making sure that women and girls have a better place in the world, and because we believe that women and girls should have a better place in the world, and through those efforts the world is going to be a better place for all. We have a mission and we have a strategic plan. And the first time we had a strategic plan was in 2018, when after some work, the board adopted the plan. The plan was revised. It's a living document throughout the years. And we've always incorporated feedback that we've received. For example, after the annual meeting 2 years ago, this same kind of meeting that we are having right now, we broke out into smaller groups and collected a lot of really, really valuable feedback from all of our members. And then in 2024, Karen already alluded to it, we had the Facing the Future Together project, which was a year-long project looking at how do we want our organization to work moving forward. And we got input from many different sources. We did a survey during our convocation. We did a membership survey. We had conversations with partner organizations. We had a 2-day sit-down strategic planning meeting immediately following our convocation with board members and guests. And for those who could not be with us in Cluj, Kolozsvár, at that face-to-face meeting, we also had online meetings. All of these efforts were guided by Kathy Burek, who is a professional who helps organizations translate their mission into actionable focus areas and goals. And so our big thanks throughout all of this go to Kathy Burek, one of our members. And in March of this year, so just 2 months ago, we concluded, we wrapped all of this up, and you can now find our new strategic plan that is focusing us and really helping us figure out what we are doing in our organization on our website. So I invite you, it's a great place to go to understand who we are, what we do, how we work. The strategic plan is really, really good for that. And as I said, it will guide us for the next few years in everything we do. Thank you.
Thank you, Tina. Yes, I echo what Tina said about the strategic plan. I'm really happy with all that we were able to accomplish and all that I learned in the process of updating the strategic plan. And it will definitely be a great tool to help us move forward. So I think now we're going to open up the floor to members. If somebody has comments or questions, would like to say hi. I know I see, I don't want to put you on the spot, Shahan. You are new to our group. I know I met you at GA. I don't know if you want to say hi and tell everybody a little bit about your organization.
Thank you. Yeah, I had the honor earlier of talking with you and seeing you and Rini and Julie at the GA, and had a great time at the GA. I wasn't necessarily meaning to talk about my organization here, but supporting ICUUW women here. But since you asked, I started a international youth network. You can go to ICUUWYN.org and check out the website. And we had a wonderful GA. A lot of people, had many pages of people signing up, and we had a staff of young adults helping me, and just had a great time. That's it.
All right, thank you, Shahan. Is there anybody else who wanted to speak?
Hi, this is Eljiva from Shillong. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Thank you so much. I'm from India, and I am so happy for all of you for voting me again into the boat this time. I've already finished a full tenure of 6 years before, serving in various uh, capacities in the IWC, and I've seen us growing. I've been out for about 2 or 3 years, and I've really seen a very good change. We are moving forward. I'm glad to be on the board again. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you, Aljiva. We're so happy to have you. You have worked so hard for the organization over the years, and I am so glad to know you.
We've all done it together.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
we have.
Yes.
Oh,
Olga.
somebody from Bolivia has their hand raised.
Can you hear me? Yeah,
Yes,
I want to congratulate to our organization, because each day we are improving more and more, and I think that this is very important for the women at the present moment. Each day we become aware about the importance to see the world as one, interdependent, and with main task especially for women as energy that cares the motherland, and moves me so much the decision to work for peace. But and taking this in mind, I want to underline all the work, the intention to meet monthly, regularly, and together with women all around the world, because it fits us very well about the main problems of the mankind. This for me is the reason for why all the time I want to participate, because we are not alone, and we are drops all around the world, but when we unite, we become a corp of water, or have become a corp can change the situation in the world. I think that we have together the feminine energy, and this is the one of the inspiration for work the next this next year that it is coming, and in this period of the history that many changes structural will have, we will have it. And the other thing is, for me, we are developing our feelings, and this is for me very, very important, because it more shows that we are a human family, and inspired to have a different approach of community for these days. So once again, I want to congratulate you, all of you. I see monthly or 2 times the month, but important is to grow each one of us in this virtual community, and parallel make some actions at the United Nations or in concretely projects. So this is for me the most interesting thing that we have growing in our organization. All the best for all of you. Thanks so much for all for your presence and to have gathering us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Olga. Yes, your unwavering passion for human rights has been an inspiration to me ever since I met you quite a number of years ago. So thank you so much for that.
If we have no more announcements, questions, then I'd like to turn it over to Allison and Lee. They have an invitation for us.
Lee, you want me to talk on that?
Yes.
Okay. I was just going to say I was actually much shorter and much less sweet than I planned to be about the membership committee there. So it's nice that we have the opportunity now to talk about this announcement. So there will be a new members meeting July 15th. And that's one of the things we'll try to work more on engaging potential members, new members, older members. It'll be a chance for all of us to get together to know each other because it'll have a brief introduction of the organization, a bit about all of the committees, and then breakout rooms. And people can choose. Probably the first one will be an automated one, and then probably a self-select the second time, but you'll all be getting emails about that. So it'll be a chance for everyone to get to know each other a little bit better and a little bit more about the organization, sort of geared toward new members, but probably useful for a lot of people.
Thank you,
Lee, I
Allison.
don't know if you want to add anything.
Yeah.
Yes.
If I may, I would just like to add, this is a good opportunity. So the meeting is on our calendar, and the calendar is at icuuw.org/calendar. And the meeting time, because we are an international organization, is listed in UTC. And UTC is an international standard, which is not actually anybody's time, right? It is an agreed upon international standard that we use to communicate time around the world. It is, however, really easy. We've made it easy for everyone to figure out what their own time is. As you can see on the slide, if you go to our calendar and click on the new members welcome call, there is a link in there that says convert to local time. And if you click on that, it'll tell you when the meeting is in your time. And your time is your computer time. So you need to make sure that your computer is in the right time. And then you can use this link and it will show you at what time this meeting will be. So thanks for that invitation, and we all look forward to meeting again and talking about the organization. Now,
Yeah. 1 minute.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay, I just wanted to hop in there and say that this new members call is originally for new members, but a lot of the old members really don't have a good in-depth understanding of what we're doing. We touched on it this morning, but we're going to have people from each of the committees available to take a deep dive, and there may be something that you're really interested in that you're not quite sure how to get involved with. And this meeting will help show you the way, and it will be fun. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Yes, really looking forward to this. Now, before we close our meeting with a charge to the new board, let us thank everyone who has joined us and our organization and helped us get to where we are today. I would like to thank Beth for all the work that she's been doing on the board for the last 6 years. And Beth has been doing a lot more than just working on the board. Beth mentioned earlier that she started the coordinating council, and she will continue to do that. Beth is also very involved in the UN advocacy group and has been instrumental in many other functions. But here, on behalf of the board, on behalf of the organization, I'm sure I speak for all members. Beth, thank you for the 6 years that you've been on the board and you've been helping us on the board. Thank you so much for all of that.
Thank you, Tina. Thank you, everyone. It has been a pleasure, and of course, I will continue to be working with ICUUW women.
Yes. Yes. We're not going to let you go, right? And you don't want to go. That's good, right? I also want to thank Peg. Peg has also been a key leader in our organization for a long time. Peg chaired one of the streams for our second convocation, which was in Asilomar in California in 2017. As Karen mentioned earlier, she served as the co-chair on our programs committee for many years, and she too was an active board member for the last 6 years. Beth, I forgot to mention, you of course also served as vice president for a while, right? Peg served as secretary, so I mean, both of you are really important leaders in this organization. And we wish Peg all the best. Peg has a lot of things in her life right now that she is attending to, but she wants to come back and she wants to be an active member again. So our thoughts are with her, and that all the things that she's facing are going well, and that she will be well all around. We want to thank Deb. Deb was on our board for 3 years and did a lot for us. I want to highlight, she was involved in many aspects of our board. She was really instrumental in analyzing and synthesizing the feedback that we got from our last convo. So we always, when we do things, we always want to hear from people. How did it go? What did you like? What did you not like? What do you want more in the future? And Deb was really good at doing that. Her analysis provided us with lots of insights and will be really helpful and beneficial for the next convo planning team, because of course we will have a convo again hopefully in 4 years, right? Like that's kind of the rhythm that we have. So thank you very much to Deb. And we want to thank Rika. Rika Lamar joined us. Rika is very active in her community in the Khasi Hills in Northeast India. She has her own organization there. She shared with us what she's doing, and she really inspired us in many of the things she's doing. Earlier this year, Rika was asked to take on even more responsibilities in her community. And you know, that's just how it is, right? Successful women are always asked to do more. And so Rika is stepping down after 1 year on the board. And we heard from Eljiva earlier. We are delighted that the women in the Khasi Hills, the Senkin Thai, the women's organization of India, will have somebody on our board again. So thank you for that. I thought you might like to see where our new board is located. So as you can see here, our new board really comes from all over the world. And immediately after this meeting, we will have a very brief first board meeting where we're trying to get everyone together. That's not easy. It's not easy to actually have a global board. Using this meeting as an example, you can see that people in San Francisco got up early, and Rini in Brisbane, Australia, unfortunately, could not make it on this call because it's way past midnight for her now. So that's always an issue with the board, right? How do we work together globally? But it's also part of what we do, figuring out how to best do this, how to make sure that everyone is heard. To kick us off, we have a charge for our new board, and I am now turning this over to Reverend Erica, who has a charge for us. I'm going to show the words, but then we can also spotlight Erica, but I thought you might want to just see the words for a moment.
Thank you, Tina. Greetings to everyone. Hi, I'm Erika Orban from Budapest, Hungary, and I'm going to read the blessing. Blessings to all of us, and blessings especially to the new board members. A blessing for leaders adapted from Kay Flannery. Blessed are you who wave your thread with many others to welcome to warm. Blessed are you in your picking up and your setting down, letting another join and wave, or letting this design model or rest in the background for a spell. Nothing is lost, all is love. In every culture, to dance is to trade places. Bless your intention to love, to comfort, to draw close, to wave beauty, coherence, symmetry, to yes. Blessed are you, Denise, as we desire the dignity, devotion, and diligence. Blessed are you, Aljiva and Erica, as we covet to spread education, empathy, encouragement, and experiences. Blessed are you, Jerry and Gizzy, as we represent guidance, grace, generosity, and gratitude. Blessed are you, Renee, with your reliability, reflection, and respect. Blessed are you, Sylvie, as we are committed to sustain spirituality, support solidarity, and serve the still sacred in our world. Blessed are you, Tina, because we appreciate through you the teamwork, trust, and the timeless thoughtfulness. Blessed are you, Zsuzsa, as we love your zeal and joy and justice. No weaver works alone. No weaver works without ceasing, but the great weaver. Seed, movement, flourishing, rest, unrevealing, rebirth, and yearning and rest, what we sought finds us. Blessed we are. We are blessed, hopefully. So blessings to all of us for the next years. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you, Erica. Thank you. And Adele has a special treat for us as we share, as we extinguish the chalice.
Yes, okay. So I will extinguish the chalice, and I picked a song for today. We can try to sing together, or at least hum together. There is more love somewhere. There is more love somewhere. I'm So there's so much love and so much hope and so much joy. And let's try to find it. It's in us. It's within us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Amen.
This concludes our 2025 annual meeting. Thank you for attending the meeting. We hope to see you again soon in another online gathering. And you can always reach out on our website. You can always send us an email, right? We are always in touch. Thank you.